Hello, and welcome to the Sum and Difference Identities Day 2 video. So we're going to be building off what we learned in our Day 1 video. We're going to be doing one proof, which has some really fun algebra skills in it. And then our first two problems are going to be like our other problems in our videos, where we're finding the exact value of something using our sum and difference identities. The only difference here is instead of expanding out, we're condensing. So for instance, if we take a look at problem number 1, I'm going to tell you that we have sine of 20 times cosine of 10 plus cosine of 20 times sine of 10, that should be a 10. So taking a look at this, you might be like, wow, this thing is huge. Yeah, we have been working with our identities and expanding them out, but I can also give you the larger part of the identity and we can condense it down. So if you have your identities cheat sheet, I'm doing air quotes, next to you, you can see, okay, I have sine of angle A plus sine of cosine B times cosine of B plus cosine of A times sine of B. This is going to be our sine sum identity. And what that means is that we can condense this whole thing down into sine of our angle A, 20, plus angle B, 10. So sine of A plus B, and 20 plus 10 is going to give us 30. So what we really have is sine of 30. And if we think about, hey, on our unit circle, what's the sine or y value at 30 degrees? Well, that is 1/2. And there you go. We were able to use our sum and difference identities to condense this problem down and find the exact value. Let's try it again. So for problem number 2, I'm going to give you cosine of 70 degrees times cosine of 20 degrees minus sine of 70 degrees times sine of 20 degrees. So in this case, we have cosine of angle A. I always just call the first angle A. Cosine of angle A times cosine of angle B minus sine of angle A times sine of angle B. So if I look through all my sum and difference identities, this is actually going to be our cosine sum identity, which means when I condense this down, this is going to be equal to cosine of 70 plus 20, or cosine of my angle A plus angle B. So we add 70 and 20, we're going to have cosine of 90 degrees, and the cosine or x value at 90 degrees is 0. And there you have it. So again, this is just like what we did in our last video, but in the other direction. Instead of expanding, we're condensing. So you're going to find a few problems like this on the Go Formative. But like I said, we're also going to do a proof that has some interesting algebra to it. We're only going to do one, so I'm hoping this will be a slightly shorter video today, but we will see. So this proof, let's see, problem 3 is going to be sine of A minus B over sine of A plus B is equal to tangent A minus tangent B over tangent A plus tangent B. So when I take a look at this, I go, you know what, this side here with the tangents is more complicated. However, sine of A minus B and sine of A plus B, those are identities. And I know that I can expand those out and probably have something happen with that. So I'm going to pick that left side. This is the side that I'm picking. And I'm going to expand this out. So sine of A minus B is sine of A times cosine of B minus cosine of A times sine of B over our sine sum identity, or sine of A times cosine of B plus cosine of A times sine of B. So I look at this and I feel like I should be able to cancel out like a bunch of stuff, but I can't because of this plus and minus here. So I can't be like, oh, cosine A on top, cosine A on bottom. I'm not allowed to do that. We're kind of stuck as is, so I'm going to go back and look at what my answer is supposed to be. And my answer has a bunch of tangents in it. So I go, okay, we're supposed to have tangent, this is supposed to become tangent of A, and this is supposed to become tangent of B. Well, I know that tangent is sine over cosine, so I need this to be divided by cosine and get rid of this. And I know this is supposed to be divided by cosine and get rid of this. And then same thing down here. So this is all supposed to be tangent of A, so this has to be divided by cosine of A, and then getting rid of this. And this is supposed to be divided by cosine of B, getting rid of this. So here's what I'm going to do. If you think back to like other problems that we've done in the past, if you have like, 3 over 2, you can multiply, top and bottom by 4 and get a whole new fraction, right? So we can get 12 over 8. Or you might have something like 1 over square root of 3, and you multiply top and bottom by square root of 3, right? We can turn any number into something that looks slightly different if we multiply the same thing top and bottom. So instead of multiplying by a whole number or multiplying by a square root, what if we multiply by a fraction? So I know these are supposed to be divided by, these over here are supposed to be divided by cosine of A, and these over here are supposed to be divided by cosine of B in order to get these tangents. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 1 over cosine of A times cosine of B. And I'm going to do that to both the numerator and the denominator. So this is going to become sine of A cosine of B minus cosine of A sine of B divided by cosine of A cosine of B. That's going to be divided by sine of A cosine of B plus, cosine of A sine of B divided by cosine of A times cosine of B. And you may be looking at this and be like, Miss Rain, did we just create a double fraction? I thought we were supposed to get rid of those. Well, in this case, we want to create a double fraction. Feel free to pause the video and go scream into a pillow for a moment, but I'll show you how this is actually beneficial. So we may be thinking, okay, now that we have this, we can cancel all this stuff out, but not yet. I can't cancel out cosine of A here because there's not a cosine of A here. Can't cancel out cosine of B here because there's not a cosine of B here. So we're going to do what we did in the last video and kind of separate out our fractions. So we're going to have sine of A times cosine of B divided by cosine of A cosine of B minus cosine of A sine of B over cosine of A cosine of B. So I'm separating those that top, or our numerator's fraction, into two separate fractions. And that's all going to be divided by, I'm going to redo that line because that was really uneven. There we go, much better. That's going to be over sine of A cosine of B divided by cosine of A cosine of B plus cosine of A sine of B divided by cosine of A cosine of B. If you were ever like, I don't feel like there's enough fractions in my life, hopefully you are feeling that way now. So we have now a quadruple fraction within a fraction. But the reason we want this is because now we can cancel things. So I look just at this fraction like, oh, cosine B, that's going to go away. In my top fraction over here, cosine A, now we can cancel those out because they're in their own fraction. We'll do the same with our denominator. So we end up with, excuse me, I'm going to shift this, there we go. Sine of A over cosine A, minus sine of B over cosine B divided by sine of A over cosine of A plus sine of B over cosine of B. And we know that sine over cosine is going to give us tangent. So this is going to become tangent of A minus tangent of B divided by tangent of A plus tangent of B, and that's exactly what we wanted. So I'm going to zoom out really quick. So we were able to do this problem in about 5 steps. Were they easy steps? Absolutely not. There was a lot of fraction work going on here. But keep in mind, it was mostly algebra with our fraction work. You already know these skills. You have these skills in your brain. We're just applying them in a different situation. But anyway, now that we've done this problem, we get to brag and say, therefore, sine of A minus B over sine of A plus B is equal to tangent of A minus tangent of B over tangent of A plus tangent of B. If you're still wondering about that double fraction stuff, feel free to watch this video over again. We will have problems like this in our Go Formative tomorrow, and we will be going over them just in case you have any other questions. Feel free to stop by my office hour if you want to go over any of that. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.